Hi everyone, this is Daisy here. Let me go ahead and get this situated. Okay, great. All right, hi everyone, this is Daisy here, aka Professional High Priestess. So I'm gonna go ahead and put out some information for you all today. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, you're just not finding out about the war that was like getting waged on social work, getting waged on child welfare, getting waged on the community at large, getting waged within philanthropy, and that the foundations were doing it, right? That they were making off, causing wars at CVS with technologies that they built, that they sent people to build, that they were creating havoc and mayhem in different capacities. And now this has come out regarding space. So a lot of you all that are coming to my channel, you're just not finding out about all that's been going on, who was affected, how much have gone into, hiding this, creating this, what's the purpose, what else was going on. And you're hearing too about how we were working to handle it and support our community. So the biggest thing that I want to talk about that's currently going on is the particle physics. That's the biggest thing, that is the biggest problem. So on my channel, you're going to see something about car accidents and slews of people who are all interconnected to certain people passing away in car accidents or with Bird Box committing suicide or perishing in some way, shape, or form because of their proximity to the situation. Because of what happened with child welfare and people's kids going missing and what's going on with the foster family agencies, the director of the National Association of Social Workers, she passed away. Because of everything that happened too with missing kids and trafficking in the Spanish indigenous community, the president of the Association for Missing and Exploited Children, he died at the same time. So this is all like, things that are coming out on top of, what's currently going on in the political climate, people getting removed from office and what's happening with the police. It's very important to know that because of what happened with the computer, that's the line that was drawn in the sand, period. Right? No pun intended, after talks of people coming to work, with foul behaviors and acting these things out in marriages and relationships. So, what's happening here now is a major exposure in regards to, you know, this is very strange that this has gone on. How did it start? Basically, what happened is they were playing with particle accelerators at CERN, SLAC, Stanford Laboratories, Lawrence Laboratories, Santa Fe Laboratories. They were kidnapping indigenous people, black and brown children, etc., trafficking them and putting them into particle accelerators. Then they were also tampering with a bunch of different things that they were concocting in a laboratory, thinking that they were going to get to people of color and cause this and that, and it didn't work. So, because they did that, they destabilized the environment because this is where space chemistry comes in. They shattered the orbitals for the chemical itself. For those of you guys that have been watching orbital chemical valence structure, they scattered that, then they scattered the electrons, and then they scattered what it means to be an electron on the planet and played in the standard model of physics and tempered with that. So, quantization was added from space to activate that matter. And this is what's causing now a lot of the car accidents also too, because it took a specific aspect of particle physics to run a technology that allows sound and speech into your ear and to impact the electrical impulse system of your neural network. So there's all of the heavy physics that went into running the technology backfired, and it created this. And then how do you specifically know? Because it's all the scientists and men in technology and chemistry that are dying, and specifically in those industries. And it's how we've come on here and mentioned a certain things, and then looks what happens. So we had mentioned about people's music being stolen. Then what ended up happening was 2 days later, Cindy Charles, the director of music at Twitch, she dies in a car accident. We talk about people playing in Long Island, this with, Upper East Side. Boom, a Long Island judge, she falls off the back of a motorcycle. She's on the back of a motorcycle. There's a car accident. after talks of, people playing games in the Spanish indigenous community, unfortunately, who had a position of decision making. So, that's one of the things that they can't deny that's coming out, that all this had happened and occurred because of what they were playing with. And this is the backlash. Think about Oakland. Peggy Moore and her wife, they died in a car accident. After all that's coming out now with Libby Schaff and her husband, and ethics investigations and things going on in city and county of Alameda, sorry, in Oakland. Yeah, she passed away in a car accident. It hit really close to home, moving money around budgets. There was a big war in Oakland over the last mayor and this current mayor who they supported. And now you see she's getting recalled. And the man that should have won the election, they had to even do a recount. The man that actually won the election because they rigged it, he's running for election now. Look at karma. You see? So again, Department of Defense families had their hand in that. So now what's going to end up happening here is, wow, should just give it to him. There should be no election. What's going to end up happening here now is you all are going to start to see, wow, so that's what's been going on. I put up a file. It's called like Karma Files, right? And this Karma File talks about like all the different people that passed away, and it shows their image, things like that. With the Karma File, though, you can get even more information if you watch my videos. You'll see what people pass away with car accidents. And then also glioblastoma, which is like a rare type of cancer. So I'm sharing the screen from my phone because I wanted to show you something on my phone in regards to this Republican chaos that I'm going to talk about in a minute and why this is happening. It's because, the Republican Party got called to my channel to come see about what happened with the Democrats and how to use it against them. In their efforts of, in the process of that happening, they saw that they actually should do their job and remove these people. And they started to go against their own party, and it split up the Republican Party. And now there's chaos moving because you guys see what's going on right now because they saw the coding system and that it works, right? And it came to a point where I just said, I'm not going to put any of my work out because of what's currently going on with people's kids and all that they're doing. And then that's what amped it to the next level where they started taking action. And now people are going to try to say, oh, you're a Trump supporter, you're this or that. I never said that. You were supposed to be a supposed Democrat, this and this and that. Look what you created playing. So isn't it so funny how these things are like moving and shaking? Look at the different Senate confirmations and things like that, and how all this is getting stacked. A lot of it is being moved because of my channel and conversations with my channel and things moving in real time on my channel. So I will say this, just stay tuned for the next round of this because there's going to be a lot more. So I just have to tell folks that are new and coming and they're seeing this like, oh, okay, so that's what's currently going on. Okay, a coding system that they want to access. Yes, that's the thing. It's not just that. It's the fact that it's what the system can do to support the environment, better health, etc. They don't want to get left out of that economy. We can create our own everything today. So even with this whole small business association, appointment, every appointment, they're checking to see if I'm saying something, looking for information and moving off of that too. It's very interesting, but that's what it took because they all came to my channel. Like, oh, we can get on our computer and steal this and do that and start this. And they heard about this chaos with white incest family networks and people's kids going missing in particle physics. That's the biggest thing. And this with indigenous people from space that got exposed because they kidnapped so many of us for clinical trial testing that they completely said, I don't know what you're doing, but I clearly see that there's an effect here. There's a correlation. I don't want to be involved. So that's what's like settling the country. That's why this with the Republican Party, like, oh, well, So, yeah. I never thought that this was gonna like happen this way. Like I'm speechless. So now what's gonna end up happening here is people are gonna start moving like, okay, now I see, because you guys are seeing it here. It's every single day that this has been going on and we're having conversations about it. So I will say this. Some of you all are wondering, what does that look like? That looks like we are going to have a session about what's going to be happening in America. But a few people need to hear from me first so they can find out what has happened. So there's nothing really to worry about. Existing cases and charges where that, you're in the right they caused issues, you should be putting yourself in a position to further prove that for the long haul. If that makes sense, you'll be okay. Just make sure you have your information together, and just make sure you stay next to the right people, stay out of drama. Some of you guys were tempted to go play with AKA, play with Kamala, play with some of these females in the office. That backfired. The time now is to get in line with the indigenous federations that are running things from space. We own all of this. The justice system we own. Oh, because they created the reservation, right? These are the ways that things are moving now. Like, oh, we did not know that. And it carries a specific system of enforcement. Okay, and now we're learning about this, right? So that's what happened with the Republican Party. That's what they saw. So they're just waiting for you to just step in and like, okay, so now you know. Some of them like, oh, let's keep doing this until they all find out. Some of them already changed their tone. Why wait for them to find out? Right, because they want benefits and they want kernel modules, things that you upload to your computer that changes your software and your firmware. Yeah, they want to enjoy. They want to, get out of VBS 3. They want to recover from being in the VA and fentanyl. They want clearing in their forms. So they made a deal like, okay, if we do all this, then we can have a better reality. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that they should keep on cleaning up. So now this is the war you guys are seeing. Like white America, there's factions have separated because it's the Republican Party. They're fragmented. That's fine. You need separation and segregation sometimes for there to be rectification and clarity about who's the problem. Then on top of that, there's this whole thing with now space and indigenous people, and that's a shame. That's what you did in slavery and the aquatic being, because they saw it. Now here is the sellout in their hand, and they're going to make sure that we are able to settle that. There's going to be a lot of, bipartisan support in this presidency, and you're going to see that it got started because they were harassing a Black woman who started blasting a bunch of people with the computer program, right? And because particle physics got ran from space from indigenous people, and a lot of people passed away. And glioblastoma, so many times that something is definitely happening. So, I will say this, just watch, go through my channel, find out more, search specific words, particle physics, search specific title, car accident, warfare. You guys saw with the protocols, and you're going to find out for yourself, right? This is what's happening in the Republican Party. And that's why I'm saying you don't have to really worry about Donald Trump and them. California, Gavin Newsom, there's a there is a formulation of a reality around him wherein at this point statistically that reality is like 79% solidified that he will go to prison, and that the Republican Party will initiate that for the state of California because he set the state of California on fire and destroyed the insurance industry. And some of you guys don't know that in California, you can't get home insurance. So what if somebody run up in your house or there's fire? Oh, well, that's done for the real estate market for years. Right? Unless you generate a bunch of money in Bitcoin and then make a company. So now, right. So now what's happening here is we've seen, bipartisan efforts more. Yeah, because I don't have sex in my family. I don't agree with that at all. We know where you stand. Yeah, we can still have those meetings, Brotherhood for Masonry. That's not really the point. We have something else to learn. We can watch Daisy's channel. Because that's what they think that this is about, right? Because some of them are playing with spell work still. So now we're coming into decisions that we have to make as a community. What do we want? And the declaration that we're going to put out here for the Republican Party, it's going to make it to them. They're sitting right there. The Republican Party, I'm going to make a video for the rest that are going to find out. Yes, that's a very good thing. The Constitutional Convention, Young Republicans of America, Tony Lauren, and all of them, they should definitely come to my channel and come and see about space coding systems and that you can get set up. They should definitely come and learn about glioblastoma and chemical servers. They should come and definitely learn what has gotten started with the Democratic Party and all these people running around playing. Why not? So now, some of you are new and you're just now watching this. Like, so that's what happened. Yeah. So they know that they can't really play like that. No, the white supremacist groups and organizations, they know they have to step back. And another thing that happened here is the Republican Party found out something about technology. Okay, I thought it was only the Department of Defense that helped create the internet off like years of research. Okay, all the original families, they're from Eastern Europe. That's very true. They traveled, they infiltrated. Okay, they're spread throughout the different governments. That's very true. Okay, she knows about political and assembly language. Okay, that's very true. So, okay, that means that they've been compromising United States integrity. Yeah, so a lot of them came here and they saw about this, and that was just, all the decisions that they needed to make. Right? And then they saw the computer be affected, and they saw everything with the outages and the breaches, and then how investigations were getting led on my channel and how it was coming out constantly. And it was in several different places all at once continuously. And they then saw that something was definitely moving here and that they had to like align with the better force. And they also found out that with the whole technology and code and software and Palin Cool, and that they've been compromising America, is how they were giving out coding languages. A lot of them just now found out how they were giving out coding languages, how different C++ versus Python versus SQL and JavaScript, how that was all getting created, and that they were incentivizing people to go out and kidnap people, switch people's kids at birth, feed people human meat, etc., even within their own group, even against white America and the own Republican Party, to switch stuff up and to get incumbents out and to do certain things. That's why they said, we're not going to have it. So this is where we're coming into, okay, now we see they saw all of it in computer science, and they want me to turn it off. They want me to effectively create an interface where they can turn off certain things, monitor certain things for the betterment of society. That's what they want me to build, where they can find certain people and not spend like thousands of dollars on like black ops missions and things like that, looking through walls and all this stuff that they used on them. Yeah, and to find people's kids that were switched at birth because of their granddaughters and stuff like that, that got married to some of these white incest families that were taking their kids to sex parties at 6 and 7 years old and giving them drugs and stuff like that, which prompted them to then upload the whole entire black and brown community to virtual reality to look for weight and magical herbs. So this is what's currently going on. Okay, I see what's happening here now, and they have to abide. Donald was not just running on his own. The Republican Party is like impacting that situation, and a lot of hands are getting exposed that having sex in their family, it's not going to be able to fly in their group, and all that whole pedophilia that we're all hearing about. I don't care. So the Bitcoin, I understand. You want a boat trip and stuff like that for your kids and Uggs and stuff like that, I understand. The black community, they can have their own. Let them have their own. You shouldn't be hacking and tapping it and monitoring it and then paying people who you know are a problem to monitor innovation in their group. That's a big problem. I don't agree with that. I see now why there've been a bunch of murders and chaos. I see now COINTELPRO and all that. A lot of these white men that work in the government, all that stuff, they're just not finding out. Yeah, because somebody really got goofy in Arizona and Arkansas and different countries, and life is a highway kept on blasting in people's ear. Then my YouTube channel, because people were getting messy with chat groups, and one thing led to another, and this Meemaw and this grandpa, and well, dang nabbit, I know somebody in Appalachia, and something got started. So I just want to let you guys know that that's wow. It had to happen. I know. I'm so surprised, but it's all of us sitting here because it's your family that got trafficked for clinical trials, right? Your family that got robbed, you that got gang stalked and harassed, you that got attacked with brujeria, you that people are playing with you at your job, you that people are like, you're worried about your kids, people targeting your kids. It's because of all of our stories that this came out in space. I think that that's a great thing. Okay, and how the planet, this planet Earth really is, and why space travel is so limited. Like you can only go so far because it's like a simulated reality, like in a specific space time continuum, to ensure that indigenous people, like our DNA will have to experience a certain force. But what they were intending was for us to be here and for them to be able to hide that we were here and then to gain access to our neural networks as indigenous people who own a flower, or sorry, who are connected to a flower created by one, or an aquatic being, or star system, crystal system, whatever that may be, divination system, whatever that may be. So even as I have this right here, you guys have seen me with these divination boards. I find these. There's times where you guys have seen me. I'm on camera. We're walking and talking, and boom, I run into one of these. There's people who belong to these. So, this is now coming out that they were getting commissioned playing and that they were being used to create this havoc because they thought that they were going to get something from space, but it's really just people with no melanin playing with them. And this is something that they've been passing down throughout their family since the Medici and things like that, when they're bringing this crazy astrology and how are you even seeing the stars like that close and all this other stuff. They brought it from space. Right, it's old. That's magic. A lot of that you're seeing with Galileo and them and all of that, they were spying on certain black women in space, and none of that is even like tip of the iceberg on planet Earth. A lot of it they don't even understand. They don't. So this is where this is going to come out again. So okay, now we see what's been going on, and then for the Russians too, it's points in history where people came to the planet, and then there was bursts of reproduction of people in certain areas in specific type of like ways that we would not consider to be normal reproduction, right? So, the Republican Party has found out about this, and the fact that there's certain DNA pools that are only 4 or 5,000 years old on the planet, and then the other natural is certain people that like, oh, I'm not really a white supremacist, I'm just Republican, right? And they want to move into, I get to have a better life. There's things are going to change. When I pass away, I can just get absolved into nothing, or I can go to the place where I get to, do rectification for the people that created this planet and caused harm. That type of thing. Like, it's a type of thing that they do in space. Yeah. You create slavery, they make a copy of the plantation, they put you there. So, all of them at once, and then you have like a screen in your head showing you at different plantations, or then you get transported there too. So they have to move their way up, and then they have to go clean up there, and management over there too. There's high seas over there too. There's different terrains and environments. People need to be captured and questioned over there too. So, now this is the thing that's coming out, that the Republican Party saw that, and all the Freemasonry and the different groups and clubs. And what's this book that I'm reading? And why do I feel something with these symbols? It's all magic from space and nonsense. It's really the food, right? So electrochemistry as well. So, I say that to say there's going to be a lot of changes in the near future. Just hold on and stay ready. Be on the right side of those changes. And this is why we're going to have success in our movements moving forward. Because if you're not cool with Daisy, then you can, like, with the computer specifically. And for some of you guys in your respective field, yeah, because they have to ask us now. So peace talks in countries. Look at Donald. Did you hear what he said? Gaza, a ceasefire. Did you hear what Donald Trump said? He wants a ceasefire in Gaza before he gets into office. Yes. Yes. Because of what happened with that coding system. So now what's about to get started is it's going to stop. They know that we're going to go ahead and make this system our own internet. They want to get involved. They want cybersecurity as well. They've heard about encryption systems and 00100. They're watching this. They've seen it. Joel Osteen has been called here, and he's been told to clean up and to stop any fraudery that's going on, and to talk to the black church as well and other white churches, and that Utah's going to get cleaned out with the Republican Party. Yeah, and Aki, that's going to stop. They're already preparing for it to stop. The rappers, yeah, they're working for us in honor of the slaves. Yeah, Harriet Tubman, Benjamin Banneker, yeah, very intelligent during slavery. So you know about this during slavery, that we could have a system like this, but you weren't enslaved. We're not going to do this again. No, I don't want to deal with that. Great. So now there's more drama getting started. Because now look, peace. Great. So I'm glad that you all like have been watching my story. There's some people that have been watching this for a while. My vlogs, my I do like healing work on here. I put like workshops on here, training, education, all that. Some of you guys need to know that I want to move towards something else. And the Republican Party, oh, they said Dr. Oz as a health person. Yeah, I see Dr. Oz being me and him can work together. If the government wants to do something where they create their own arm of biologics and we bring things more in-house with creation for, especially for like CMS, things like that for our FQHCs, yeah, I can see Dr. Oz being involved and I can see him like later, you know, being able to have a business interest in being a vendor with products that are not stolen. So, I mean, that's a great idea. Right. And a little bit more oversight and quality control. Right. So, we'll be putting out different declarations. They're all going to find out about this. Let them come and find out. So, this is what we want from the Republican Party. So, all that in our community is going to stop. All these police officers playing games, turn that shit the fuck off. All that white supremacist stuff, stop it, because you look stupid. Here we have rectification for everything that was done in everyone's community. We need emergency meetings now. All that blue ribbon panel, let's do this with the police. We have a new type of blue ribbon. Good idea, yeah, for just rectification with the history of the police as patty rollers. A lot of you guys don't know that the history of the police, they started as patty rollers. Patrollers, they call them patty rollers. So the police, their job was to go out and find people, black and brown people that ran away from slavery. So this history has to come out, and the rectification with that, with everything that came up with the aquatic beings and Department of Defense families and sound technology and what can and cannot happen in America moving forward, period. And how to conduct yourself in law enforcement. It's not that serious. Right. So, a lot of whites too, they saw me, what I had in my hand, and I can cause a bunch of damage. And you don't see me on my high horse starting a bunch of drama and just causing like a unsanctified, behavior. You can carry yourself more like a lady. Look at how this is going right here. This is a great thing. So, I feel like one of the things that's going to happen is this is going to continue in regards to the Republican Party finally seeing that there was a spell that was put on them in regards to their perception of black people and the black community. And because of what happened with virtual reality, we can break that once and for all. It can stop. And it will. It has to. There's no choice. And we can coexist. And some of the whites, that are watching, they, bounty hunters and stuff like that, yeah, I know a lot about computer science. Listen, given what has come out here, I mean, what language could we actually get? So now you all are finding out that's how they were giving out computer science languages. Yeah, it was certain families doing it, and it's limited, and that's how they were getting computer science started in incentivizing different groups and running through different companies and stealing people's work and having people host it and do this and that. And now there's a coding language that they can't take because I can turn it on and off through electrical impulse. I can just turn off the TTY. Even if you had the code, it didn't matter because it's called quantization. I can go in a different database that I don't even have to touch physically, and I can turn it off. This is a great thing. It's called being a high priestess, right? So this is like where the white community is like having a lot of sanity, and the Democratic Party can learn something from them. Like, look, because at one point the Democratic Party was once Republican, and the Republican Party was once Democratic. If you guys understand the Civil War, there's something called carpetbagging, where people will come from the North. A lot of Earclunkla families, gangs of New York, right? There was a lot of immigration to the United States, so you've been coming up here. Okay, you've been around. Even Wachowski, even in the Civil War. Wow. Okay, this is a long game, right? Because you guys don't know that the National Science Foundation was created in 1863. So you mean to tell me that, wait, hold on. National Science Foundation was created in 1863. You've been playing for that long, experimenting on black and brown people? Right. So then the white folks saw, okay, yeah, we have been experimenting and starting a bunch of shit with black people at Henrietta Lacks. Okay, I see why nothing has moved forward with stem cell science or microbiology or a lot of things. Okay, well, it's there. Time to shine. Let them have their own system. We had our own businesses. We'll be lucky to maybe be vendors and partners with them. That's fine. Right. So there's a lot of folks that are fine with it. They think that that's a great thing because they finally saw that black people are fucking normal. Look at their music. I mean, the one before we brought the Russians the first time and like played with crack. So, you know, these are the things that are happening in our community and why the Republican Party is feeling like, okay, they need to, work with us here. This is, yeah, that's happening in a lot of ways. Businesses have reached out to me. I told you guys who reached out. Even some of the Russians reached out. Like, oh, okay. Because they know what time it is. So, okay, it's coming out. So, deals that were made and history that's coming out and dishonorable things that were being done back then coming back up again in history, being able to settle the score with all of this and what's going to happen in the black community. And just like, okay, I don't want you using magic on me because I don't have sex in my family, so you want me to be a horrible person in a different way. Okay, yeah, no. And that's another thing that came out too, that these white families, incest families, they were doing that. Now let's talk about, because I lost my train of thought. Democrat, Republican, the South. This is a history that you guys can go look up, but the way it started is carpetbagging. Like, oh, I believe in, the Union Army and I believe in freedom and stuff like that. Let's go to the South and see what they're doing and like keep a handle on this stuff and keep certain black people captured and start slavery in a different way. Okay. And they were getting lynched and stuff like that. It's called carpetbagging. So, that's one of the ways that in the South, how did Democrats become Republican? Yeah. Some of y'all need to go learn about that history. Some of the Republican Party is just not finding out. This is a deep history. And it had something to do with Cyborgy or Clunkla. Wow. Daisy, you got yourself a deal here. Yeah. It's this man that looks like the dad from King of the Hill. I don't think that that's a joke. I think you guys need to stop. So oh, here we go, right? So the history of this too was coming out, and it was so funny because months ago, you guys remember how I did Civil War channeling about certain families, their name, and how it was something with like the Spanish community, which is really gonna explode. Yeah, we did some deep research. We found some like hilarious like things there. So that's gonna come up again. And I said that this is one of the things that's gonna come up again as the karmic ends up getting set up, that the Civil War is gonna end up having a pivotal, play in this. And I mentioned a certain book. I mentioned Warmth of Other Suns, about the great black migration. I also mentioned Native Son, how Bigger was born, right? In Chicago playing games. And I also mentioned a few other books, mainly Jubilee, which is going to end up coming out in something with, oh my goodness. Here, let me pull this up. Yes. Let me see. I did an ancestor adventure on her. Let me pull that up real quick. So one of the things that's and I think it's just important that people see this because this is one of the things that's going to end up coming out again in regards to how this all came out on my channel. And it's going to come out again. Mary Ellen Pleasant. Yeah, Mary Ellen Pleasant is going to come up in a very, very vicious way. And that's why it's going to be very powerful how people watch how they've been playing with a bunch of magic, but space, their hand involved in it to make sure that sellouts can survive. And how they try to reactivate it in front of the Republicans with a shower and all them running around with spell work, playing with 501c3 and nonprofit. That's another thing too, playing like that. Right. And that, okay, there's some good organizations though, because look at them, they're doing all the work, right? And seeing how me and other people worked really hard with nothing and look, they're not getting much. So we know that this system works because look what it can produce. Look, it can do this. So we should keep funding this. We should keep doing this. We should keep doing that. The Small Business Association, I can't predict that there's going to be some good programs, but remember, it's who you get involved with. There's going to be something where everyone that wants to go get involved playing games, starting shit, you're not going to get the different economic boosts, forgiveness or recovery. And then also there's going to be a second database added for people that get to survive this whole thing with contracting. Yeah, for the state on every single level, like even down to managed care organizations. So just get your business or your company like ready. Yeah, and get ready to absorb contracts. A bunch of stuff is about to get started. A bunch of stuff is about to get started. So Mary Ellen Pleasant, this is one of the ancestor adventures that we did. The funny thing is she was born in 1812 in Georgia, Atlanta, right? Didn't know I was going to move there, that all this was going to end up happening. She bought a plot of land right where my old apartment was built. It was actually hilarious. Something's going to come out with this with Madame Laveau and magic in the Civil War and how this kept on happening, and magic with Atlanta. Magic specifically with Atlanta that I've been talking about the whole time, because Atlanta was specifically the place of the last battle of the Civil War, Sherman's March to the Sea, and what that really means for Sherman's March. So, right, in the Republican Party, which has something to do with this whole Democrat switching to Republican, Republican switching to Democrat, cyborgia all the way in between, looking and still playing games all around, and what's going to get unraveled with the white supremacist ideology through Anglo-Saxon nonsense that was being weaved and spell work in between with chemicals and early chemical societies, playing with people, doing a lot to get in bed with people, literally. We have to survive. Oh, she's Polish. We kill Bassa. This is good food. We can bring this here. Sandwiches, Earl of Sandwich, right? So Sherman's March. So, one of the things that's going to happen here is the Civil War, and history enthusiasts, right? They're going to remember this, like, okay, let's not repeat this, right? Right. Sherman's March to the Sea. Let's not repeat this. That was one of the last battles of the Civil War, Sherman's March to the Sea. They destroyed Georgia. They marched all throughout parts of Georgia, freeing people and causing chaos. And because of that, and with everything that happened with Georgia and everything that happened in Atlanta and what's currently going on in certain cases, and that their family is connected to this, and what happened with this whole thing with dishonorable Department of Defense families, that's going to come out in the next round, that the Republicans have to see about this with the Isley brothers and what they should have never let happen with Sam Cooke. This is how it's going to start another repair process. Like, yeah, had we never allowed that or created that, they wouldn't have come with this Fard Muhammad, who was really a white man, playing with Nation of Islam, and this with Aki, and forcing men to do sex rituals and this nonsense to keep their music, or make their music, or do this or that. So, right, because that's a great way to build wealth and power. So now what's happening here is, yeah, Sherman's March to the Sea, the last battle, all of this is coming up, and it's the certain videos that Daisy was making about different ancestors. Like, oh, look, Ancestral Adventures. Oh, look, Malcolm X. Oh, look, Benjamin Banneker, Mary Ellen Pleasant. Different things like that that I was doing, going to their homes or their land, visiting, things like that. It was what was creating, it was that's now coming back up because we surefire can see that there was something being discussed in the Black community. You're trying to hide it. I'm not getting sick. I'm tired of this. I don't want to be involved. Stop doing magic on us. So there's going to be white supremacists and other places that, they're going to find out that they're going straight to the Duat. They don't even have an opportunity to clean up and, and move forward and be rectified. Right. Yeah. That's a big battle in Atlanta. Sherman's March to the Sea. That's one of the things that is Atlanta's lit, because a lot of those families, those in Atlanta, a lot of families that are there, they're descendants of this. And then there's karmics and ops. That's one of the things that's still rearing its head. And it's rearing its head through a dynamic with two churches. One church is messy, one church is not. They're in similar hoods. And one church, the former DA of Atlanta, he's involved with that church with the Isley brothers. Ronald Isley and his grandkids, they're hella messy in Atlanta. And he was providing them with access to that technology to play in people's phone. So this is one of the things that came out in the virtual reality that people are watching this. Like, that was very powerful in the Black community, all these stories. So much so that somebody saw this and said, oh, let's start Motown music nights at this local bar. They opened up a bar and everything. Oh, Motown music nights, because like the music went hella far and it was like really like ridiculous what was coming on in there and very powerful. So I want you guys to go read into this, the portals that's over Atlanta in regards to that this war is still going, because it has something to do with space. It has something to do with space and the indigenous tribes of the Seminoles that were in Georgia, which is going to come out again. Thank you. And that's what's coming out right now with these white folks too. Sherman's March to the Sea was 37 days. Thank you, Miss Olsen. Thank you. And this is what was coming out in the virtual reality at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what's currently going on? Russia watching this like, oh, we didn't know about that. Yeah. Sherman's March to the Sea, 37 days. That's the history of Georgia that they're trying to hide. They're going to see this again, and it's a certain quick case and everything going on, that this is coming up again because it's a family that had to like settle somebody. It's coming up again. Our family's still here for a reason. Yeah, and this is why you guys should have never went to go play in IC3. That's what I'm saying. You guys should have never went to go play, start any of that, or cause any of that, causing distractions. So now, with this, we're going to move forward. And this is the history that came out, that Sherman's March, that they saw that it was 37 days and that they saw all these different relevances and the information that was coming out to show about these dishonorable families and the games that were being played about people's kids switched at birth, the Purnell families playing. So, I say that to say, the portals that are open over Atlanta, they have to get closed. It's a warfare portal, and it's this rectification that has to happen in their community, and it's going to keep on going on until it happens in all their communities. We can't keep on starting this. And when Juliana and Castle Redmond showed their hand that this is what they're going to do, mixed race Black man playing with a white woman, or mixed or white passing, and you guys are playing like that, this is what starts wars. And this is why the Republican Party stepped in like, you're not going to start this goofy shit. Let them clean up and we'll handle that. And then we'll come to the table and then this is going to stop. And it's going to stop. Yeah. And about their granddaughters getting sick and their grandsons losing their mind and stuff like that because you're having sex in your family and playing. Yeah. You can't convince them otherwise. You're going to be litigated. Yeah. So, yeah, battles that still need to be fought. And then what just got started too with something that came out about a Seminole. It's a type of Seminole works that they can do. And one of the Republicans seeing that, like, look, they can name all these different plants. They know how to do chemistry. The Blacks are gonna have all of this. We're not gonna have anything. And that's why they just went to go sit down like, oh, it doesn't matter how much we plant, how much we farm, the phytochemical will be turned off. It's only them that can turn it on. Because look what Daisy's doing. We even snuck into her apartment. She was growing the plants right there. Her house was covered in them. Look at this right here. Look at all this stuff. So some people need to go see this video. That's what happened in the Republican Party. Donald Trump, we don't have to worry about. I'm telling you, it's going to pass us right by. The karmics are going to get hit. And if you don't, good people that are getting hit, come and tell them about this and let me find out. And then we will put their face on here and it'll make it through the network. Yeah, that's the type of stuff people are going to get into, and then they're going to get their fractional shares of our tokens, or they can get in people's bank account with this new technology we can build. And some of them want that. That's some. Ooh, it's a white man that wants this code so he can drain Cyborg their bank account. I'll give it to you. I don't care. He wants it all. I will give it all to you, baby. You will be an authorized user. Automatic approval. Yeah, he wants to drain their bank account and their crypto. I'll give it to you. Call me. Well, let's keep on going. Anyways, you guys. So that's all I had to say.